Hey everyone, it's 307 back today with another weapon review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the MTAR-21. But before I do that, I just wanted to point out that this video length is a little long for a weapon review. It's almost 13 minutes. I know that's a long time to listen to somebody sit and talk about a weapon, but bear with me because the more relevant footage is probably on the back end of this video. So just hang out and I'll point out why that footage is a little bit more relevant. So anyways, getting back to the MTAR-21, it's the second unlocked weapon for the engineer class from the close quarters download content. It had somewhat difficult unlock with the EOD bot. I thought that was a little ridiculous. I spent some time, as have many others, wheeling around in that cumbersome little beast, but I managed to get it done and got some guy I was gonna get footage of it. I caught some guy fixing his tank. He was out repping his tank, and I wheeled up on him and got him, but in the heat of the moment I had stopped recording like a few minutes before and then started again. But that's another story. I wish I would have had footage for you to see of it, because it is kind of always a funny kill. But anyways, back to the MTAR-21. I've been reading and watching some other footage, and I've heard a lot of people say that this is the F2000 of the engineer class. I would tend to actually agree with that. With its high rate of fire and its bullpup style, it's very similar to the F2000. So it's an interesting analogy to make, and I'll be comparing those and other guns to the MTAR here once I get a little bit more in depth to the stats. But the first two most notable things about this gun is high rate of fire and its long reload time. So those are two factors you got to consider when you're taking a look or thinking about using this gun. High rate of fire is great, but it also has some serious recoil. So like I said, that rate of fire is 900 rounds per minute. But as a result of that high rate of fire, we get some serious recoil. It has a 0.25 left deviation recoil, a 0.3 vertical recoil, and a 0.5 right deviation recoil. So that's rather significant. Once you unlock a couple of the attachments, I think the recoil becomes more manageable. A foregrip is pretty much mandatory on this weapon. It's a great hip firing gun, so you really don't need the laser sight. It doesn't, I don't think I used it a little bit, and it makes really no significant difference as far as your hip fire. So that's something to consider when you're doing your loadout. Kind of in comparison to some other weapons, say the ACWR, as far as recoil, like the ACW has a 0.1 left deviation, a 0.2 vertical recoil, and a 0.3 right deviation. So you can see by those numbers that the ACW at 850 rounds per minute is a feasible choice as far as when you go to pick out your weapon. I think the ACW is going to be more of a close quarters, close to not even medium range type of weapon, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Just going into the damage a little bit, it's a typical engineer weapon in that its damage at 8 meters is 25%, and then going up to 50 meters it's at 14.3%. So that's pretty much typical of most of the engineer class weapons. But now we get to the stickler with this gun, and that's the part I had the hardest problem with, is the reload time. If you still have one in the chamber, it's 3 seconds, and if you don't, it's 3.3 seconds. That's the longest reload time for any engineer kit weapon. and a little comparison, like the F2000, which always seems like it takes a long time to reload as well. It's at 2.65 seconds with one in the chamber, and 3.6 seconds with when you go empty. Just as a comparison, for a close quarters weapon, the P90, which is a PDW, it's not an engineer kit weapon, but it takes 2.5 seconds to reload if you still have one in the chamber, and 2.9 seconds if you're completely empty. So, and last of all, the ACW, which is an engineer kit weapon, has a reload time of 1.85 seconds with one in the chamber, and 2.5 seconds if you're completely empty. So that's something to really think about. Many times it seems I got caught trying or waiting on a reload, and I either end up getting killed or used my pistol a lot. So I think that's a downside for a close quarters weapon, is a reload time. At least in my opinion, you really got it. And with this firing rounds so quickly, you run out of. If you're just a little off and you're aiming, you run out of ammo very fast, and so your reloading seems like a lot. So that's just one thing to consider as you think about using this gun. Personally, I took a look at how this compared to a lot of the other guns. I was really looking forward to this gun, to be honest with you, because I thought the high rate of fire would just fit my play style, which it does to an extent, but I think even this map here, Gulf of Man, is just a little bit too open for this gun. It's not going to be able to function well at ranges over 25 meters, and that's particularly why I went to after this footage, we go into some Noshara Canals footage, and there it seemed to do much better. And I also played it on some close quarter maps. So I think that's where this gun was pretty much developed for it, as far as in this game. It does really well on those close quarters maps where you're going to be doing hip fire or short range aiming down sights. I think, like I said, anything over 25 meters is just not great. So knowing this, I would definitely not recommend any sight besides the red dot or the K.O.B.R.A. Both of those are generally for close quarters action, so that's the best sight. Even the holographic, I think it just zooms it in a little bit. I had the holographic on for a little while, because if you've watched any of my other weapon reviews, I like the holographic, but it also encourages you, at least encourages me, the holographic encourages me to take a little bit longer shots with the minimal zoom that it does have, and this gun is just not capable of that. You can see, like right here, it's probably me missing somewhat, but it's just that was a little bit distant, I almost feel, for this gun. So
I just spawned, dude.
Whereas the hip firing and the close range stuff, it does exceptionally well. And so like on a Canals or even a Karkand, and of course any of the close quarter maps, this gun will excel. And if that's your play style as far as close quarters, it'd be a very viable choice. But I think if you're going into a conquest map or even a rush map, I think your ACW will be a better choice, in that you're likely to be using the gun for a little bit further distances. So that's something just to keep in mind. This is a fun gun to use. 900 rounds per minute takes some getting used to. My first couple of games with the gun, I think at this point, this is like my fourth or fifth game I played with this gun. So the first one or two, all team deathmatch, it just took me some getting used to. Of course, then I didn't have a lot of the attachments, and I had to really adjust for the recoil, and of course the 900 rounds per minute was surprising, and next thing you know, you're out of ammo. So, and then the iron sights on this, if you notice at the beginning of this video, are just, well, they're a lot of the iron sights on a lot of the guns are just atrocious. So they're not great. And so, fortunately, at 10 kills, you get a red dot sight. So that helps out a lot. But I think this is going to be a much used gun once people get past the EOD bot fiasco. So I don't know why DICE did that. It makes things interesting, I guess. But you know, I spent probably half an hour of game time just running around in that stupid thing until I found somebody who wasn't paying attention, I guess. And but that was a little hokey. But you can see here, you run out of ammo really quick. And you have to go to your pistol often and then reload. And the reload takes forever. That's probably my biggest gripe with this gun. You can adjust with the recoil and the high rate of fire, but it's hard to adjust with the reload time. In that respect, I feel the ACW and other weapons like the P90 or any PDW weapon is just a better choice, I would say, for close encounters. So I guess my loadout recommendation would be either a red dot sight or a K.O.B.R.A sight, either one. As you can see right now, I'm using the K.O.B.R.A sight. Fore-grip is a must. And then as far as barrel, heavy barrel gives it more damage. You lose the vertical recoil compensation that a flash suppressor gives you. So I like the flash suppressor, and I like the full suppressor too. So any one of those three barrel choices would be very good. So depends on your play style, but that's the foregrip. I think is a must for its left and right deviation. So anyways, thanks for watching through the full length of this video. I realize it was a little long. I hope you enjoyed. Give me a like, I'd appreciate it. And until next time, I guess it's 307, and we'll see you out on the battlefield.
Oh man. That was epic, dude. Epic fail though. Oh man, look at me, you.
Yeah.
Nice.